you're in full swing, the business is going great, everybody's happy, you're growing, and then a key employee calls a meeting and tells you that they're leaving. My name is Benjamin. I'm a 3 times bootstrap founder and fractional COO. And in this video, I want to give you a step-by-step process on how to deal with a key employee that's leaving the company. So step 1, stay calm. Accept the fact that they're leaving, no bad blood. Trust me, it'll make your whole life in the transition so much easier if you retain and the relationship and remain calm. People move on. There's nothing you can do about it. Obviously, you want to try to keep them on if it's just them, trying to play the cards. But if they've made the decision, let them move on. Step number 2, assess what client relationships this person is on. If they have if they're client facing at all, which they might not be. If they're client facing, make sure that you have a full inventory of the stuff that they're working on client facing, as well as internally, right? So you want to build a list of all the accounts and projects they're on right now. Third step, and all of these have to happen pretty quickly, is communication. So I suggest internal communication within 24 hours of you being notified of that employee leaving, if that is a short-term thing. If they stay on for a couple more weeks or months, you can obviously delay that a bit, but I recommend communicating in due course and not delaying that communication internally, just to not allow for uncontrolled communication to take place, and then you don't control the narrative anymore. So communicate quickly internally, 24 hours if it's a short term, if this person is departing short term. For communication to clients, there's a bit of prep work that needs to go into it, because you basically have to have a list of the client account that this person is on, and then map them towards somebody else. Could either be yourself, could be other team members, other account managers, etc., specialists, whatever your service business is. But before you approach a client, I recommend you have the replacement figured out already. If you have some time, use the next regular client touch point, join that meeting, and make this a topic. You lead the conversation, ideally, not the employee, and you'll ideally also bring in the new replacement account manager into that meeting. So it feels like a controlled transition that also gets management attention. In these situations, trust in stability of service is the key. If the client feels that your service might be shaky when that key employee is leaving, then you have a problem. If you can go in and really show, hey, I'm here, I got this covered, there's a new person already, and I'll be on this account until things work again, you have a pretty good chance the clients won't really mind. The fourth step after communicating to clients will then be to say, okay, now what are the things that need to be handed over? So you need to make a transition plan. This could be client know-how, but also process know-how. Oftentimes, key employees hold a wealth of process knowledge that you might want to codify and put into SOPs, etc. So look at the things that you need from the client before they're leaving. Obviously, you got to be realistic with regards to how much time is left. But make that list and really build out a transition plan. Who do we hand over clients to? Schedule these meetings, and then also how do we extract any knowledge that you want institutionalized in your company. 4th step. The 5th step then is to really just execute that plan. And then obviously at the 6th step, very admin heavy, make sure that you delete users, remove access from internal systems as well as client accounts to make sure that the closure is really good. And then obviously alongside of that, there's a couple of admin things you need to process. I don't know, remaining holidays, last payroll, registering with tax authorities that the employee is not with you anymore, etc. But I think the key is really the client engagement part and making a proper transition plan, right? So don't wing it, but rather sit down. What do you know? Who do you work with? And which of this do we need to retain after you've left? And then use the time that you have left with that employee to work this list off. And that's also why it's so important that this conversation is happening, the first conversation is happening respectful, and you accept that somebody has decided to move on. Oftentimes it's a decision for something else, not something against you. So there's no personal, or try to keep the personal feelings out of that conversation as much as you can. If you like this video and want to have and see more operations content for service businesses, then please follow along, and I'd be happy for a like. Thanks.